The future of World of Warcraft looks very hopeful. I agree. I actually agree. I'm very excited. Look, BlizzCon, the more I watched it, the more I thought about it, the more I got excited. Yeah, it was like one of those little teases in the beginning that eventually did get me excited. So let's see why Bell and his buddy are excited for World of Warcraft's future.
For WoW right now?
That's a really complicated question.
It is, right? It's a really mean one.
I don't think it's mean. It's going to be...
Yeah, we're doing heroic.
There's a lot of subjectivity in my answer. Because I have not played World of Warcraft
the impatience
far too long at this point. I just due to time and other things going on.
Oh yeah, you weren't a raid night.
Yeah, so I wasn't raid. I've done a couple of, like.
Oh, you missed out on.
WoW.
You missed out on all the stuff, Matt. It was so good, and you missed all of it. It was amazing. I'm fucking with him.
So.
Dory, it was shit. It was terrible. All our friends are dickheads.
Well, I knew that already. But
Speaking of BlizzCon, did you guys tell you guys that Touchpad Warrior actually knows who I am? Yeah. I didn't tell you guys I did. I think I did maybe. But yeah, he knows who I am.
No, so it's
Just
a little bit...
he was at BlizzCon and he
don't
knew
make this into a
Samiccus was.
40-minute segment, bro. I'll try not to. I'll try not to.
No, it's like, so, you see, you got a pizza and you got a burger.
Yeah. World of Warcraft, as of now,
Can't
is a
prove it,
game that
can't
exists.
Can you do it without a food
done.
analogy?
Yes, I can.
Whoa! Yeah.
I can. So, burgers, no. I am very hopeful for it, but
Yeah.
not like... I guess I'll separate these into like being a player and being a person who's involved in the community largely.
Here's what I would say. One reason why I'm more hopeful than others, before we get to his reason, is because of the Microsoft deal. Now, some people would say, oh, but Sam, Microsoft, they fucked up other games before. They didn't do Halo good, when they took it. But I just feel like things under the Activision umbrella were never going to really get better. Because, Bobby's boats and everything else going on over there just was never going to get back to what we wanted. And it was never going to go in the right direction. But since Microsoft took them over, they themselves said Activision and Blizzard are now two separate entities under Microsoft. They're going to run themselves separately and do their own things. And Microsoft's influence on them will only be to support them. They don't want to get involved either. So that means that we have essentially gotten the closest thing to having an OG separated Blizzard as we'll ever get. Because they're never going to be off on their own ever again. But under Microsoft's management, it looks like they're just going to let Metzen and the boys do their thing. They're going to fund it. They're going to give them dev power like they've never had before. And they're going to just, tell them, go make a good game and make us some money in the process. That'd be great. And I think that's what's got me the most hopeful. The announcements were cool, World Soul Saga and everything. That's exciting. But really, it's the fact that they're under new management. And things could go back to the way we want them to be.
On the meta perspective, I absolutely
Birding,
think it's
thank you, man.
very
Thank
warm.
you for letting me know.
There's a little bit of doubt in, I guess, like the recent stuff with how people look at the 10.2 cinematics and go, oh my god, what's going on here? How is this shipping? And that's one of the, I think one of the last major flaws. It just so happens that it's a flaw that's so deep and so fundamental to how people experience the game.
True.
That it takes a whole load of points off it by itself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. By the way, I do think reclaiming Gilneas will lead to a new starting zone and quest site and everything for the Worgen. Same with the Night Elves. They're going to have a whole new starting experience with the Myrdras, though.
But looking at
I definitely think they're going to do
and
that.
the ability of them to ship things that people actually want for a change.
Same with Undead,
which
actually,
to be fair,
too.
they've been doing mostly throughout the expansion, but not like not quite as much as I think people want a lot faster, and 10.5 is kind of proving that they are at least have that aim.
Yeah,
which
the
means
8-week
their
cadence is
live
good.
team are pretty strong in that category of you want the thing that we haven't made for you and you've asked for 10 years. Here you go. Like the fact that they're giving us Gilneas is clearly them going, people want to see Gilneas.
Yeah,
I don't imagine they had that story beat planned years ago.
I think they may have a year ago, because I remember Denuser said, and I saw your comment about him. I haven't seen what Tally said. I've heard one or two things. Maybe we can jam on that after this.
Yeah, so I don't know, that probably was reactive to people wanting that. So if they're willing to throw that in, and I kind of trusted, because I know the Heritage Quest
Yeah.
People very much didn't like the tone of that Heritage Quest because it ended up being a Worgen's bad, actually, says Tess Graham. Never goes.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the Heritage. By the way, I feel like they've done such a better job with Night Elves aside. They've done a great job with a lot of Heritage quest lines. I played through the human one as a human, and I loved it. I only really play human, and I love the Heritage quest line. Same with the Orc one. From what I saw, it was pretty good. The Undead one was really cool. The Night Elf one was kind of a miss, but overall they've done a really good job with it. But what the Worgen were one of the original Heritage quest lines, and yeah, I've heard that one was like, yeah, the playthrough wasn't that great, the story wasn't that great. But I think the retaking Gilnea's storyline, they can really, bring the Worgen up to speed and make them a really cool race again. Because right now everybody knows who plays Worgen. It's just butt plug furries. That's it. I mean, that's all. Those are the people who play. So hopefully they can bring them back to being a cool race again.
Excuse me?
It's gonna take some work.
What
Got
are
into
you
this
smoking?
precisely because I want fur.
Yeah,
Not
so
cool.
yeah, so
They can do it.
comment there, but sorry, I had to do it. So I can almost imagine people going, "Oh yeah, well," or the developers, I should say, going, "Okay, well then we'll actually bring this into." We'll bring this into that. Maybe Tess will learn.
Look, I don't hate furries. What I hate is what they're doing to my game. Okay, not everybody needs to be represented in the game to that extent. All right, we don't need it. I don't need your fetish in my fucking game. That's why I don't like furries, because I feel like they push their fetish into everything. Every form of media has got to have something furry related now. I don't need that shit. This is a game about war, about swords and shields. Not about your damn fucking fetish on Moonguard and how you need a representation of your fetish in the game. I don't need that shit. Okay? You don't see people fucking footsies out there, foot fetish guys claiming that they need a race with bigger feet so they can have their fucking representation of their fetish in the game. This isn't a sex game. This isn't World of Sexcraft, okay? People need to stop pushing that shit.
Organ stuff is fine.
Sounds awfully phobic. I didn't say they can't have furry sex. I said I don't want it in my game. I don't want it in my game about war. Okay?
So I think there's a lot of them working super hard on things that we
That's
want.
why.
That is making me very happy. Then you go ahead to The World Within, and they're like, yeah, most of this comes from Ian's interview with Preach, and how much Ian was just like, yeah, we had a load of shit ideas that were from ages ago, and we just threw them all out, and we're going to make the game good now, which is heavily paraphrasing, but that was like the gist of it, right? That was the idea. The point of that interview was Preach sitting down and going,
yeah,
why are you
true.
going back on all the things you were so sure of an expansion and a half ago? And he just goes, yeah, we were wrong. We realize that now, more or less. So I'm very, very hot on that.
That comment just made me think that was that stuff. It was like orthodoxy. It must have been orthodoxy, right?
That's basically what he basically said. Yeah, he inherited World of Warcraft as a director, and it took them a long time to realize it needed to change because the rules were set in some form of stone.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously, Protestantism analogy here, whatever else, something went in. So I think that's I've got a lot of some frame issues. I'll sort that in a second once I finish my point.
Harry's.
I'm very. I think I will say quite warm. That'll be the answer. It'll be quite warm across the place. This does come from the perspective of me not actually playing a whole lot recently, but seeing it and going, every bit of news I see, I'm like, I want in. I definitely want in.
Yeah.
And I even had a thought maybe a week or so ago. I was like, maybe I'll bow out from Raid this time. Maybe I'll bow out from this tier in this patch. Because I kind of don't really want to, maybe I don't really feel like playing. I'd rather do some other things. But then I went
I've been enjoying it.
and saw
I like
the
this
Waste
raid.
War first. And I saw them go through normal. And I was just like, I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
really
fun.
want to see that. And then I saw people talking
I will
about
say the fights in this raid are very well designed. Like, we went through normal already. We're going to do heroic today. The fights are really well designed. I enjoyed all the fights. Like, there was nothing mechanically annoying about any of the fights. Now we're going to do heroic. Maybe I'll change my mind. But overall, the difficulty of normal seemed about right. We got through it pretty, we took some wipes, but we got through it. The mechanics of the fight seemed pretty fun. A lot of it made sense. It was pretty intuitive. There wasn't anything that I felt like I needed an add-on to understand, which is a good thing. And and the fights were like well balanced. I don't know. It just felt right, felt good, and the pace and everything about the raid felt good. The amount of trash also felt good. It didn't feel too much like there was too much trash. It was good.
Like the
So far, I
quest
like this
after.
raid.
No, I'm like, no, I really do want to do that.
A few
And what
bosses
I've
on
played of
heroic
10-2
will
so
annoy
far,
you.
which is a couple of quests.
Some of them should be a challenge.
I
That's
really
okay.
enjoyed.
I have
Sounds
a
like-
story about that.
So I'm actually kind of sitting going, this is kind of crazy hopeful, and not in a, I think, and I'll extrapolate loads. It's uploads. So it's like, I'm not extrapolating a whole pal here from nothing. I'm
Sounds
literally
like a
going,
good issue, Troy. The impatience
basically
of
there's
this
two
chat.
big dots, right? Well, actually there's three. There's three big dots that paint a line. And it's like, we're here, and something's maybe not so great. 10-2 is general quality in terms of, like, not the cinematics, of course, but in terms of, like, the quest writing.
Yeah.
And how roughly referent it has been to the Night Elves and their plight and all the individual
Yeah, okay, look, till this day, I think Dragonflight's opening quest line was fine. You know, we knew we were going to go to each flight and do something with them, you know, light up their pillar. I don't even know what the point of that was anymore, but just doing it was fine. But you know what one of my favorite expansion opening quest lines was till now? Like, besides the fact that I love going to Northrend and the nostalgic and everything, but like storytelling, opening quest line expansion, going through and doing a story. You know what it was? Warlords of Draenor. I actually loved the opening questline story for Warlords of Draenor. Something about it just felt badass, and like we were being attacked by this Iron Horde the entire time, being pushed back, seeing these old orcs come into power again. I don't know, something about that whole opening questline for WoD was cool. WoD started strong, even by player number standards. It started strong. It just also finished extremely limp, the most limpest of all expansions. So that's why we remember it so badly, because, you remember how you finished, not how you started most of the time.
There's outside of, I know people mentioning Smolderon, and there's a couple issues there, where that seems a little bit quick. So they still have issues, obviously, but
Yeah.
the quality of writing and general ideation seems to be stronger in 10.2. 10.2.5, it looks like they're going for almost here's the player wish list, and we'll just work our way through it for a
there
while.
was nothing to do.
A lot of like the tonal changes and the things
In
they're
WoD.
doing, very, very interesting, like the Azerothian Archives. I'm super excited to see that play out. And the Gilneas
I'm
are
excited
of
for
course.
that too.
And
World
then
content's
everything
fun.
we've talked about with the War Within.
Yeah, I
Mixed
will.
mechanical
I
is all
will
fine.
pick up to let you turn the NAS off.
Yes.
And I had a really smooth. Yes. This is kind of it, right? I think it encapsulates the broader issue with this expansion. There's this scene where Alex Straza and Ysera, basically say goodbye right before Ysera has to go back into the Ardenweald box.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I
And,
think I gotta finish that quest line.
It's well acted, now it's well acted. It's dragons talking, so you generally want to increase the the playback speed by about 1.5, maybe 1.25. But other than that, it's like a really nice scene. Yeah. Then you realize
Friendship scene
that it
again.
is in fact the first scene that those characters have had together all expansion, I believe. And that's one of those things where it's like someone got assigned to do that because they knew they needed to do that, and they did it really well. And everyone came, they did their acting good, and all that
Is it
worked.
a long quest line?
But it was just so disjointed and rumbly beforehand that it didn't really, it just didn't work as well as it could have, even though it itself was good. So I think where I am is, I think, based on the changes to their development pace, like a lot of... I think we're basically trending upwards. I think we're trending upwards.
Yeah, I think we are
Certainly,
too.
WoW as a game, we're trending upwards.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I
the
agree.
gameplay is really good. So that's trending upwards. Aspects of, like, lore and world are trending upwards. Actually, I'd say world is in a really good state. And I will talk about that in a little bit. It's quite well designed. It's very nice. Everything's just quite lush and detailed.
Yeah.
And satisfying. You see them actually pretty regularly iterating on what world content is. And I know, WoW, obviously...
We're literally getting a world part of the vault, right? Your vault is going to have a world slot in it, so it makes sense that they're dumping a lot of content into the world now.
It's not caught up to some other MMOs, but WoW certainly had a shitload of catching up to do on that type of world content.
Yeah.
So overall,
And the thing is, I think Warcraft has the best world. It has the best world. It has the most nostalgic world, the coolest world. So they've really dropped the ball with that, just letting the world kind of die off. So it's good to see that they're trying to reinvest in the world and make the world feel worldy again. I don't know. Such shitty language I just used there, but that's the truth.
Feeling
Rather than World
I
of
am
Island Craft or something.
simultaneously pleased and disappointed in Dragonflight. I'm pleased because it represents so many
Participation
things
vault.
being better than the past, but I'm disappointed because even though I do believe that, I
Gives
think
you
it's
heroic
less
level
than
gear.
the
That's
sum
what they said.
of its parts. Now, to transition to another little segment, not that I want to get too personal, but that Tally mentioned it, because you told me Tally mentioned it, and somebody in chat, I cannot find it here, somebody mentioned basically that Steve has left the team, or is gone. Do we know anything about that?
I think that was.
I don't know what Tally said.
I have no idea either. I think it was heavily implied and not said, not stated outright.
Towley said something?
So I'm not entirely sure.
I see.
Not entirely
That is
sure.
interesting.
Mhm.
I have also had it heavily implied but not stated outright.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means, and I know nothing else really about it. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose that it is what it is. Yeah, visiting. Hey, yeah, I don't know what Tally said. I'm very sure we've heard it from different people. So I don't really know. But
Okay.
anyway, that is a rumor that appears to be floating around.
Yeah.
Which certainly would be interesting. Who knows? Could be that the lore direction he wanted to push the game in was maybe not one that the team could feasibly pull off. And
we're
it's one
about
of those
to.
things. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's like David Cameron and Brexit. He's like, all right, the Brexit won. I can't be PM anymore, and now he's back.
Wait. Yeah.
I don't know why we went from Steve Denuser to David Cameron, but hey, anything can happen in this show.
As I'm sure you're all very, very aware at this point in time. So, yeah, I imagine we'll likely hear or see something along that lines before too long. But yeah, I think we're trending up on basically all fronts. It's just there's a couple bits that are like lagging behind really heavily. And there's a little bit of cope in saying that that's like production issues. It's like, oh, it's fine. They didn't have that many people on those cinematics, and they had to rush
Yeah.
them out because they're working on the War Within.
I think that is a little bit of cope
because
too.
everyone knows how that goes. Because then we're in the middle of the War Within. We're like, but this is shit. But it's fine. They're working on midnight. We've got it. It's fine. And then that continues.
Maybe that's why they announced 3 expansions at once, so we always have the next one to think about if the first one goes shitty.
Until we're at the end
Might
of
be
the
a good
World Soul
strat.
Saga and going, oh no, the whole World Soul Saga was terrible, but it's okay.
I don't think
because
that's
that's
gonna
to work
happen.
on the next saga,
It's like,
whatever.
it's
that is.
okay. Phase 4 of Marvel will be good. Phase 5 of Marvel will be good.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are with
so
Marvel.
like there's a little bit of that which I'm trying not to like literally do because
Yeah.
it's unfair, but like at least they're cognizant of it. 'Cause
Right.
I know in Ian his interview with Preachy talked about basically how he pushed super hard for Legion to be as fast as it was, like in terms of content.
Oh,
cadence.
Ian did?
Yeah, Ian was like that. One of his big things as
Really?
position at the time was we need fast content. We need content super fast. But with the resources they had like actually
that?
allocated to them at that time, that ended up taking away from BFA development, which is extremely obvious in hindsight
Yeah.
because one team can't do 2 things at once.
Yeah.
Or more or less is
Now
the
they've
point
got
here.
3 teams.
So then they got extra teams, and he mentioned specifically the acquisition of Proletariat. The Proletariat was literally for that. Was we need more people to actually be able to
And
get
that-
fast and next expansion.
Just
So-
the headline is so funny. Like, Bobby Kotick has acquired the Proletariat. Like, sometimes it's like, you can't make this shit up. Do we, in fact, live in the simulation?
Yeah. A simulation created by Bobby. That's right. Yeah, good video. Yeah, I'm excited for the future of WoW. I think the cadence of content that we've been getting, the World Soul Saga in terms of lore-wise, it seems interesting, and I think things are heading in the right direction. Like I said, the Microsoft purchase is what gives me the most hope of all.